Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look, we're dodging bullets in the background. We got the smoke and fire effects going because we're going to be talking some Westerns today, baby. What is going on? It's your boy, person, PhatSamuraiGuy, back again and hanging out in the movie dojo today, baby. Filmmaker, writer, composer, director, Brian Skiba. How are you, brother?
Good. Thanks for having me on. That opening's epic.
Yeah, man. Got to get us pumped up. Because we love
great.
talking movies and cinema is what it's all about. And thanks again for being here in Skiba Vision. That's right. But yeah, man, how have you been?
Busy. Been doing really well. You can't complain. I have it's a big release this weekend, so very excited and grateful.
Yeah, and congratulations on Gunslingers coming out. You guys can check it out right now. It's on demand, Amazon Prime, all that good stuff. So make sure you guys check it out. But we're gonna lead up to Gunslingers a little bit later because I did watch the movie. I got some stuff to say, so we're gonna have a lot of fun. But yeah, man, how did you get the calling to get in the film industry? How did that motivations, inspirations? How did that come about?
So when I was like, I don't know, I had been 4 or 5. My uncle stole Empire Strikes Back, the reels from a theater.
No way.
Yeah. So he stole these reels from a theater and brought them to our house. And he had a projection from the college he worked at. He worked at U of A, University. We were in Tucson.
Yeah.
And he set it up with the big speakers and everything, and we watched Empire Strikes Back in my living room when I was like 4. And
epic!
Yeah,
that.
I remember climbing on the big PA speaker and thinking, "This is amazing." And I just and since then I always wanted to be in film. And then when I was 8. I was sitting with my grandfather and I told him I'm going to direct movies, and he's like, "Dude, you're in Tucson. You ain't directing anything." So, and my family, they're all lawyers and engineers. Yeah. So that was the track I was going, and started going to pre-law and played football, got injured playing football. Couldn't do that anymore my freshman year of college. So,
what position?
I was middle linebacker and offensive guard, mainly offensive guard, senior and freshman year of college. And then, nice. I was a little small too, I was in the 240 range, and these guys were all 300, so I was getting killed. But so yeah, it was not my calling, and so I was like, what do I want to do now? So I started writing. I loved writing. I loved writing since I was young. I've been writing short stories, and I started writing again. And I took a screenwriting class, and the teacher's like, "Man, you got to go to film school." And so I was like, "Man, my grades suck. I have dyslexia. I have ADD. There's, I don't have the grades for UCLA or USC or any of the traditional film schools." So but he said, "No, that doesn't matter." He's like, "There's a film school at Scottsdale Community College."
All right.
It was the only one in Arizona at the time.
Yeah.
And so I went down there, and while I was a junior in college, I kind of started over, went back to 2-year, went to 2-year school and did 2 years in film school, and then went back to ASU and finished at ASU. So I was in college for, 6-7 years, but it was worth it. It was a good foundation.
You were grinding.
Yeah, I grind. I was
getting ready. It's grinding on a different field, not a football field, a different field. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So after that, I minute I got out of college, I got lucky. Some real estate guys were like, "Hey, we want to be in movies. We want to do movies." And they gave me like $35,000, and I did Blood Moon Rising, and that was
boom. Right here.
Yeah, man.
Now already I'm like, okay, this is right up my alley. It's got a whole grindhouse vibe to the poster here. Ron Jeremy is in the movie, which is hilarious. But I was reading the plot synopsis and everything, and you got zombies, werewolves, and vampires in this movie.
Oh yeah, it's a total like throwback homage to Grindhouse and just over the top cinema and just crazy. just crazy, you know, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, you know, we knew we had no money. I mean, we had 35 grand, so we were like, what can we do? We're all film school students. Let's do something just bonkers. And,
yeah, well, it's fun. It's fun. I'm getting a trauma vibe too.
yeah.
A
Well,
little bit.
I'm a huge fan of, like, you know, I'm a huge fan of like Trauma. I'm a huge fan of those. There was like where I grew up in Tucson, we had Saturday morning, instead of cartoons, it was this thing called action theater, and
Ooh,
it would be two like action movies and then like a monster movie, and it was always
nice.
like Godzilla, or it was like some just like really fringed out action movie because Tucson couldn't afford to buy the big ones, so we were getting the really low budget B action movies on this network. This
But some
channel.
of those are the more entertaining
Oh
than the
yeah,
AAA big budget releases. Sometimes you'll find more entertainment, from
especially
genre
nowadays.
films. Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially nowadays. But yeah, no, I mean it's definitely what I grew up on and what I love, and I just, you know, what I dislike is the you know, I feel like a lot of people put a you know, they kind of poo poo B movies, you know, or
Yeah.
trauma movies, or, you know, it's like, no man, that's cinema, that's art. Love
That's
all
right.
art, you
That's
know.
right.
You know,
That's right.
love all art. It doesn't, you know, I
Mhm.
mean, not everybody has $100 million and can go, you know, and make a
Yeah.
Marvel movie. It's and we're still doing art and we're doing what we love. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
be fair, be
Yeah.
kind. You
That's
know?
right. That's right. And, as long as I've had this channel, we've always supported independent cinema. It's very important. And I've said it countless of times. I've come across some smaller budgeted, indie flicks, and I get so much more, there's so much more value in some of the ones I've watched. There's so much more entertainment. And then I'm so tired of going to the theater and seeing these big budget disappointments over and over. Now some of them are good, but it's just like it gets tiresome
Mm.
when I could just go to Tubi
Yeah,
and find something wild and just bust out laughing or cheer or scream
yeah.
and just have fun. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
if you stop being a critic and start being a kid again and just enjoy the film,
yeah,
there's so many out there to enjoy that have absolutely shitty effects, but they're funny, they're
yeah,
fun. You
yeah,
know, they might be horribly acted, but you're laughing at that, and so
yeah.
that's the enjoyment of film and art that I think has been a little lost, and I hope we discover it again. So,
Yes. Well, you're bringing it back, Brian. You're helping to bring this genre films back. But have you seen Miami Connection?
no, I haven't seen.
Okay, put it on the list.
Okay, I will. I will. Miami.
Put it on the list. All right, you got to watch Miami Connection, man. Watch it with a whole bunch of buddies. You guys are gonna laugh. You're gonna bust up laughing, man. I mean, it's hilarious. You got here. I'll give you a little quick rundown. Taekwondo school, right? And we got a master and his students. They train in Taekwondo in the day, but at night. That's right. They are a musical band that plays at the local club named Dragon Sound, singing about friendship and fighting ninjas. And not only do they sing about fighting ninjas, but they actually fight ninjas who are drug dealers that ride on motorcycles in the daylight
Oh man,
in
yeah.
Miami. And you get gang fights, Double Dragon Streets of Rage style. Oh, it's great. Oh, you will die laughing, and you will have a big smile the whole time.
Oh yeah, I bet.
But yeah, watch that with a whole bunch of buddies.
All right, we'll do.
But we're keeping it grindhousey here, and 357. That's a cool poster right there.
Thank you.
How was it working with the Hammer, Fred Williamson?
Fred's a legend. I mean, Fred is a legend. You know,
Right?
he's just one of the kindest people on this planet, and you know, just hilarious. I mean, he comes in. My first interaction with Fred was, hey Fred, good to meet you, I'm Brian. We talk, you know, I was like, you know, can we get you into some wardrobe? And he looks at me and he looks down at his pants and his shirt and he goes, I'm wearing it. I was like, okay. And he's like, black on black, brother. That's all I wear. that, that was it. That was the shirt. I was like, all right, great. You know? And
Yeah, he's cool like that, man. At
yeah,
Dragon Fest, He had a
Yeah.
booth at Dragon Fest, and I ran into him over there and met him, got my autograph, my photo with him, and he's just like the chillest dude, man. You
Yeah.
know, he's like the coolest dude.
Yeah,
But
man. He just wants cigars and Doritos. That's
that's
all.
it. Just want to
Get him
eat.
cigars and Doritos, and he's happy. So
Yeah. How was it working with Madsen and Dean Cain?
Dean's my brother, man. Dean's a phenomenal person, and Michael's just a creative genius. We on Dirty Little Trick, we got Michael right after Dennis Hopper had just passed, and so we had cast Michael.
Yeah.
And the producers had sent him his money in cash. and then Dennis Hopper dies, and there's an article that comes out the very next day that Michael Madsen's disappeared. And he's disappeared from his hotel. Nobody can find him. And he's gone. And the producers are like, oh no, we just blew all our money on getting Michael to be in this movie, and we sent him cash, and they're just like, oh, he's not going to show up. And for 3 days, these guys were sweating it out while I was shooting other stuff. And they show up at the airport to pick him up, and his agent's calling us and going, look, if he shows up, call me, because we don't know where he's at. We have no clue. And the plane lands, and sure enough, he comes walking off, and just was, just didn't want to talk to anybody, just disconnected. And so he came to our set, and the producers immediately were trying to be LA and show up and shake his hand and do the thing. And he kind of did the hand to the face and went to the dressing room.
Yeah.
And called me in there, and I walked in, and he was sitting there, and he wanted a carton of Marlboro Reds, and a couple bottles of wine. And then he and I talked for like 2 hours. He just wanted somebody to talk to. And it was like the best, 2 hours ever. Cause I grew up, Reservoir Dogs in film school was, we watched that, I don't know how many times. And so, to hang
That's
out.
still my favorite, Quentin Tarantino movie.
Oh, mine too, by far. And so it was just awesome to hang out with a guy who's just creative and deep, and we read some of his book and talked about Dennis, and it was just a good time, just to hang with him.
How cool is that? But I mean, you as a director, I think you've covered every single genre. I think you're a man of many talents. You covered every single genre, and you even threw in a little bit of martial arts. We got some martial arts going here, some MMA.
Oh man, yeah, I love MMA. So
yeah,
I would love to do another one. Matter of fact, I just inked a deal to do one called Fight Ward, which takes place. It takes place at a mental institution. It's a fight.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I hope they
do this. Do this movie. Let's go.
Wow. I signed the deal. They contacted my agent. My agent's like, "Hey, man, you really want to do this one?" I was like, "Yeah, where do I sign?" I'm in.
Hey, if you need any crazy people strapped up, in your movie in the background,
all right,
I'm available. But yeah, what's who are some of your favorite MMA fighters?
Ken Shamrock. Definitely.
Yo, you took it back to the OG.
I loved all the Gracies. I was, that's when I was really into I remember watching MMA, 1, 2, 3, 4, and just going, man, this little guy's beating all these huge dudes. And that's what really attracted me to jiu-jitsu. Yeah. I was like, jiu-jitsu is the shit. If this guy can go in the ring and just take out these big fighters. And I think it was an awakening for a lot of people. Just like, man, stand-up game isn't where it's at. And it's kind of come back to the stand-up game. I think a lot that has a lot to do with the entertainment value. I still think if these guys came in and started throwing a lot of jits, they would be winning. But it's definitely
it's evolved.
It's evolved quite a bit. And
do you train?
I did. I used to train jiu-jitsu quite a bit, and then a little Muay Thai. But
both for me too. A little Muay Thai, a little bit of rolling around. Yeah, a little rolling with some jitsu. It's fun. It's fun.
When I did a chokehold, I trained for 3-4 months before that in jits mainly, and
nice,
because I wanted the film to be more about jiu-jitsu. So if you watch the film, it's a great mix, and it's an awesome fight movie. Like unfortunately, I had some producing partners that went into that film and decided to make edits that I didn't know about.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was fun.
Did they edits during the fights?
No,
Oh,
they
okay,
love
thank God. You
they
scared me.
love the fights, but some
Other thing.
distributor came in. The distributor came in and was like, "Hey, it's too long. You guys got to cut 15 minutes out of this thing." And they were like, "Well, we want to keep all the fights," so they cut the story.
Oh, God damn it!
Yeah,
Oh
so
well.
there's no story, but
Yeah,
there's 15 fights in it, and they're all awesome. And,
Yo,
yeah,
15. There you go.
yeah.
Hey, you got Larry popping in saying, "Hey, PhatSamuraiGuy and Brian just dropping in." Well, good to see you, man. Thanks again for watching. But yeah, I'm gonna have to check out some Chokehold. Is this the first time you're with working with Casper?
It was. Mm-hmm.
Nice, nice.
That was
That guy's always awesome. I interviewed him a while back when he did Mad Heidi, which is another wild, wild movie, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got some grindhouse going on. We got some action thrillers. We got some MMA, and now we got a little bit of romance drama going on over here. But during World War II, so how was it filming the action sequences in this film right here?
Oh, it was amazing. We filmed that in Vancouver. Actually, it was Vancouver in the spring for the Battle of the Bulge. It was a little difficult because everything had become green, and so we had to color time. It was crazy, but a lot of fun. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I mean, that was I'd love to do another World War II movie, and
yeah, that'd be
and,
awesome, man.
And this time, actually, like have people die. So.
Yes, I'm all for that. More action, the better. I'm hearing a lot of good things about Warfare. Have you seen Warfare yet?
I haven't. The trailer looks phenomenal, though. I mean, it looks really cool. So.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to check that out at some point. But now we're getting into the wilder territory here, the extreme territory of Rotten Tail right here. This looks bonkers. You got to talk about this, man.
Yeah, Rotten Tail is my bonkers. It's my ode to Spaceballs and
hell yeah.
And he, it was definitely like it was a graphic novel written by David Hayes, and he was an old professor, and he had reached out because he had gotten signed to some label, and the label was like, we want to make a movie. So he introduced me to them, and it was Source Point Press and Travis McIntyre. So I get with those guys, and we were like, let's do Rotten Tail as a movie. And Travis was extremely supportive. We didn't have barely any money. It's definitely Troma level, totally.
Yeah.
So it's an homage to Troma mixed with some Mel Brooks, and it's zany and crazy and
nice.
Unfortunately, when it first came out, the distributor totally pitched it wrong. Like when the way I saw it coming out was like a total Spaceballs with the poster and everybody on it, and it just feels zany and crazy and out there. And they did this poster with just him standing. You have it right there. There it is. Yeah, him just standing. I was like, what the fuck is this about? What does that say? I don't even know what that says. It doesn't say anything.
Did you put the tagline down there though? Hippity homicide.
Yeah, that's actually in the graphic novel. So that was David Hayes.
Okay, shout out to David.
Yeah, but it's like, what does that mean? It was the worst poster, and so I didn't. So like a lot of people picked it up thinking it was like
a serious creature feature or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And so they got confused. And then Billy Bob, the drive-in at Billy Bob on Shudder.
Oh yeah.
He picked it up. And he showed it like, I think 3 or 4 years later, he put it on his show, and that's when it blew up. That's when everybody
was that's awesome, man. Love Joe Bob Briggs.
Yeah, Joe Bob Briggs.
Yeah, love him, man. Yeah,
Joe Bob Briggs. They did it for Easter, I think 2 years ago.
Oh,
two Easters
perfect.
Ago. And
how cool is that? That's a huge honor.
Yeah, no, it was a huge honor, and he loved the film, and so did his co-host and everybody. Suddenly everybody got it. They're like, oh yeah, it's funny. Oh, it's like so. But I always tell everybody, get a beer, get a joint, whatever your flavor is, and sit down and watch that thing
after you watch Miami Connection.
Exactly.
Oh man, but filming the movie here with Ryan and Casper came back here. You got an action thriller here. Talk about this movie.
That was my first venture into action. I've like I said, I love action. Grew up watching action. The action theater was my gig, and I kept begging these producers, like, I got heavily into TV. Because a lot of people don't understand. Not everybody who directs movies is rich and famous. It's just not the way it is. It's not. You might have a little bit of fame, but you're certainly not rich. And it takes. We all have bills. We all have families. We all have kids. And I feel like there's this contingency of elitists out there, especially within the critic community, that feel like if you want to be taken serious as a director, you can only do certain projects and be serious. And if you direct more than one movie every 3 years, well, man, you're not a serious director. And I'm going, fuck you, man. I've directed 45 movies,
Yeah.
And the way I did it, is, and there's a mixture, and there's a reason why I did it. And the first reason is I got to pay my bills. I got to pay. Yeah. I got kids just like everybody else. I got a wife. I got families. I got a house, and not every movie pays $1 million, you know? And so it's like, when somebody calls and goes, hey man, I've got this Lifetime movie. You want to do it? And I'm sitting at home, trying to figure out how I'm going to make rent next month. I signed up. And so I got sucked into that world, and I did 25 of those, just crazy, just really cranked them out. And I kept asking the dudes, I was like, guys, I want to do something bigger. I want to get into action. And so that's how one of them finally said, okay. They introduced me to Ryan Phillippe. Ryan and I got off, and Ryan was like, yeah, dude, let's do it. And so that's how I got the second. And,
nice. I believe Ryan has a jiu-jitsu background. I'm not sure about that.
Ryan knows how to
train.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. Ryan knows how to fight. He trains, so he does have a bad injury. So he's not as active as he used to. He got ran over. I didn't even know this. It wasn't very big news.
Oh my God.
But yeah, he got ran over. He was out four-wheeling, and his side-by-side rolled over him.
Oh no!
Yeah, I'm
glad he's doing better now.
Yeah, it was like a lesser Jeremy Renner thing, but yeah.
Oh my God! Well, shout out to Ryan. I'm glad he's doing all right. How was it working with Mr. Cusack here?
Oh man, John and Emil, they're amazing. I mean, John is one of those just truly eccentric artists, and just loves the art and filmmaking, and is just a kind human, wants everybody to be loved and cherished, and it was so cool to just be around somebody like that. And then Emil's the same way. Emil's just a kind-hearted, beautiful person. So
I enjoy watching him too.
Yeah, just great people all around. So
copy that. Did you see that movie John Cusack made with Jackie Chan?
I haven't seen that one.
See, man, I'm gonna give you a whole bunch of. I'm gonna send you a big list when we're done here of movies to check out. A period piece movie, not a modern day.
Oh wow!
Yeah. And cool. Adrian Brody is in the movie too.
Oh man, that's a good film.
Yes. I'll send it to you when we're done here. But it's pretty good. I thought it was gonna be bad. It's actually really entertaining. But Cusack, he also trains too. He learned from Benny the Jet Urquidez,
Yeah, we talked about that quite a bit.
Yeah, he knows some shit.
Yeah,
but you got my boy Rolo from Vikings up in here. This guy's awesome. How was it filming Clear Cut with Alec Baldwin and Stephen Dorff?
Those guys are all great dudes, amazing guys. Clive is one of the most committed actors on the planet. I mean, that guy, he was telling me on Vikings, the crazy stuff they would do. I mean, it was just like, him and Travis see who could outdo each other, and just like Meisner-esque kind of acting, it's like, how far could we go with this, and the stuff they would do. And then he just brought it to my film, man. I mean, that guy was like, it was written in the script, he has to cross this river. Well, don't tell anybody, but we didn't have the right medics and things there. We had a medic, but we didn't have the water safety. So you're supposed to have a guy with a scuba set, with another scuba set, sitting in the river and all this stuff. And so we all said no. We all were like, Clive, we can't do it. We got to be safe. And Clive's like, Brian, just roll the cameras. And he takes off and runs through the river. I was like, all right, roll, and that's the way he is, man. I mean, he's just like
Nice.
he's 100% just hard
All in. Well, especially after filming Vikings.
Yeah,
he probably was having flashbacks.
Oh,
he's like, let me go run over this.
Yeah,
get it done.
You get it done. Yeah, no, for sure, sure.
Cool. Would you consider working with him again?
Oh yeah, no, 100%. All these guys. I mean, all these guys I've kept relationships with, and that's why I a lot of the people come back.
Hell yeah. But now we're getting close. We're almost there. We're almost there to go back to when the West was wild, baby. That's right. We're going to lead up to it, and we're going to start with Dead Man's Hand. That's right. And this also starred Jack Kilmer. R.I.P. Val. Rest in power, Val. How was it working with him? Is this his first movie?
Not his first movie, but his first leading role. He's done a bunch of supporting stuff, and he's a great actor and really just building his repertoire. That was another Source Point Press graphic novel that had some spirituality to it, and
nice,
that kind of thing. So there's a graphic novel, there's the movie, but yeah, I mean, Cole Hauser, Stephen Dorff. That was that my first time with Steve? I think that might have been my first time with Steven, and just great, committed, all of them just committed actors. And it's a fun little flick. I mean, if it's not a traditional Western, so if you're looking for Silverado, don't go there. But if you're looking for something that's got a twist to it and a little more like, a little more graphic novel-y Western, then that's where you go.
I think you may have found your calling. I think you need to adapt more graphic novels out there.
Yeah.
I think you should do more, man. Well, before I forgot to ask you this earlier, what are some of your favorite action movies?
I was big, like, I was anything Bruce Lee. I mean, Enter the Dragon, all those. That's what my dad, fed us night and day, was Bruce Lee movies. We watched every single one, and over and over and over.
Father of the Year.
Oh yeah, he loved Bruce Lee. So we watched that. We watched the Chuck Norris, like Delta Force. Remember old Delta Force?
Yeah. Oh, I love Delta Force. Hans Zimmer did the music for Delta Force.
I know.
So if you go back and hear that catchy theme that doesn't sound anything like Hans Zimmer, that was him. That was him back then.
Yeah, no, it was epic. So we watched Delta Force a lot, and then like the crazier side was like Big Trouble in Little China.
That's my shit. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's top 5 for me. Might be top 3. I don't know. I love that movie. We've been hearing rumors still to this day about them remaking Big Trouble, and I'm just like, just don't do it. Just leave it alone.
Yeah, they were talking about having The Rock.
Yeah, way back. I'm like, no. And Kevin Hart's gonna be Lopan. God,
those guys are phenomenal in each their place, and
yeah.
But those are I mean, I don't think we should remake everything. I mean,
exactly.
We should just keep and enjoy.
Yeah. Well, speaking of remake, the other rumor I heard recently is A24 is trying to do Bloodsport.
Oh man, what's
your thoughts on that?
I mean, if it's A24, it's not going to be anything like the original. It'll have some sort of, those guys are very good at telling stories. So I think if it's A24, it'll be a great film. I mean, they did Warfare. I mean, they're very focused on their writing, which is, a lot of us don't get the time to do. But I think cool if they can do it.
So we got a shot. It'll have a really good story, really great character development. But in terms of action, I don't know. Hopefully they get a good action, stunt team, designer, coordinator that knows what they're doing. Cause it's weird because there's no audience for Bloodsport. Today's audience aren't fans of Bloodsport. No. This is we're the audience.
Yeah.
So if you make it's that's why it's so hard to do a reboot or a remake, because like, how do you please the audience that grew up watching it, as well as bring in the new fans? It's
Yeah.
so hard. That's really hard to do. So don't do it. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it is super hard to do
Yeah.
because it was yeah, I mean there was such a mystique around Bloodsport and
Yeah.
you know, I remember when it came out, my dad was telling me, he's like, this is a true story and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, you know, and you believe it as a kid. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
you know,
That'll all be changed, guaranteed.
yeah,
For the A24 version, they'll probably have a more accurate version. So,
yeah,
or
maybe.
they'll just take out Frank Dukes all entirely. That
Yeah,
just would be their whole. This is a whole. Maybe it's just a reboot.
yeah,
We're gonna have a new main character, you know. So we'll
yeah.
see what happens. We'll see what happens. But we should talk about that when the movie comes out. We'll have you back on here. We'll talk about Bloodsport if it actually comes out. I think
Sounds
that'd
good.
be fun.
Yeah.
But westerns. Have you always been a fan of the genre?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, you know, my mom when she remarried, so my dad was the karate kung fu movie guy, and then
Yeah.
my stepdad was the westerns. He loved anything Eastwood, Silverado. I mean, all
Yeah.
these, you know, classic westerns, spaghetti westerns. You know, in the morning on the TV, there'd be all those like Poncho and the Cisco Kid. I don't know if you remember that old.
Yeah.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff. So yeah, you know, Little House on the Prairie, my mom would watch. So yeah, it was definitely a staple. And my mom actually bought me a record player, and the only record she got me was The Good and Bad and Ugly. So I listened to that thing over and over and over and over. And over. It
No
was just like,
way.
so yeah.
He's
And,
one of the greatest music composers of all time.
oh, for sure, 100%.
Ennio is one of the greatest. He might be. He's probably my top three.
Yeah.
It's just he's so good, so good. But yeah, Once Upon a Time in the West, you know, Tombstone, and there's so many,
Yeah.
so many classic spaghetti westerns as well. But yeah, you know, it's even going back to. I haven't finished it yet, but I started watching it as an old TV show, black and white, called Wanted Dead or Alive with Steve McQueen. And I started watching it, and even those old, you go way back, there's still this really, really great storytelling, you know. And
Yeah.
and I always approach westerns. I've evolved as a movie lover over time, because when I was younger, I was like, explosions, blah, blood. I'm still that way. What am I talking about? But now it's like, you know, not every western has to have nonstop gun battles all day. You
Yeah.
know, I approach it as, okay, let me see if it has a good story first, good characters, and then either the duel at the end, you know, or you know, the action that we do get is just the cherry on top. It's the bonus. I mean, look at High Noon, one of the greatest westerns of all time. All the action's at the end.
Yeah.
There's like one duel. That's it.
Yeah.
But the lead up to that is just like, damn, you know, High Noon's a classic. So I always approach westerns with story first and then action later. But don't get me wrong, if it's got the kick-ass action in there, you know, your boy here just loses my shit. And we're going to get to that with Gunslingers. We're going to get to that. But first, let's go ahead and have some fun here. And man, you had two awesome westerns drop this year. I mean,
Yeah.
was that planned, or
No.
I mean, how did that happen?
uh, two different studios. What happened was I was getting Gunslingers going,
Yeah.
and then it looked like it was going to fall apart. Like it was getting that we had the SAG strike.
Right.
And those things, and I was just like, man, I don't think this movie's going to go. We were having a tough time, you know, getting the right lead for the cat. I mean, well, Stephen Dorff was always the lead, but we were having a tough time finding that number two that that Lionsgate would approve. And so it was, I just didn't think it was going to go. And so, and we actually had a fairly well-known guy who came in and said, okay, I'm in, Mel Gibson. And we were all set, and he injured his shoulder. And when he injured his shoulder, he couldn't do horses or anything. So we were like, all right, movie's dead. We were like, all right, movie's dead. So we laid it down, and one of the producers on the show came to me and said, I really want to keep going. And I was like, well, I gotta feed my family. Again, it's, there are points in our lives where you just got to take a job because you got to make money. And I do this as a living. It's not like I work at, anywhere else. I make films. And so I got offered to direct Guns of Redemption. And I took it. I was like, okay, cool. It was, and then they said Casper was the lead, and I was like, absolutely. I love Casper. Yeah. We go way back. So, so I took the lead. I took that show, started prepping it, and then I got a call from the other producer, and he's like, guess what, man? Cage said he'll do the movie. And I was like, what? He's like, I just got Nicolas Cage. He's in. And I was like, I was like, are you kidding me? He's like, no. Cage is in, but here's the caveat. We have to start shooting in 2.5 weeks. Wow. And I was like, what? Everything drains from my face. I'm like, are you kidding me? I have an opportunity to work with Cage, but I only get 2 weeks to prep the movie. I was like, bro, wow. I was like, kidding me? The movie's not even, Dorff is the only one cast in it. I mean, it was just like, and he's like, that's what we have. So, we either do it now or you don't get it. And so we pulled the trigger. I mean,
pun intended.
Pun intended. We pulled the trigger. I told the other movie that, look, I can shoot your film after Gunslingers. And they said, okay, they agreed to wait. Shout really well the film. And so that's
crazy.
Yeah. So we dove right into Gunslingers and went out to Kentucky, and it was a 2-week prep fest, and it was just crazy. I mean, people losing their minds, wardrobe just every night was breaking down because they just didn't have the time. And I fly the DP out. We only were able to prep like the first 3 or 4 days, and then we had to start shooting. And so, and so if there's any like real shortcomings of the film, that's where it came from. And it's not something I would suggest to any filmmaker. I would tell a filmmaker, prep is where the movie's made. And, and unfortunately we didn't have that on that. And so, but I fully support and stand behind that film, and I love it. Yeah. And I think it's a great film, and for what we had and time and everything. So. Yeah.
Well, the minimal prep time did not deter me from enjoying the movie, which we're going to get to in a little bit, but let's lead up to it. Hold on. We got people all the way from the UK watching.
All right.
What's up, entertainment headquarters? Good to see you. We got stuntman, martial artist, and actor Colin watching us right now. Good to see you, brother. Yeah. But yeah, let's have some fun here, and let's check out the trailer for Guns of Redemption.
Yeah.
A man shows up wanting to help us rebuild our church for nothing more than a place to sleep at night.
I don't trust him. It's just you don't know anything about him.
I'm not going to turn a man in need away. I don't care what's behind you, as long as you don't bring it with you. You understand?
I understand.
I was hoping our town would be too meager for General Bork.
Maybe he's just passing through.
If a man won't go to the devil will come to him.
I ain't giving myself to any of you.
You say one more word, I'll break every bone in your goddamn body. So, $10 for the virgin.
This is really good.
Please help us.
I believe you're hiding a couple prisoners that belong to me. Pack it up, boys. I've had enough of this town.
How are you still alive?
I don't know.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna slow him down.
What the hell kind of a man comes back from the dead to save a couple of worthless whores?
My guardian angel.
No angel.
You the preacher?
You looking to get baptized?
There's nothing in this church that belongs to you other than the sin you brought in.
Yeah. You say one more word and I'll break every bone in your goddamn body. Man, is Jeff good or what? Jesus Christ, Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff is good in everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Phenomenal.
Ice cream commercial. Jeff will be good in that. He's so good. But yeah, let's have some more fun here. I'm gonna bring it up on the side here. Hold on, give me a second. And yeah, man, we'll talk a little BTS behind the scenes. Have some fun here. There we go. Yeah, man. I really enjoyed this. Really enjoyed this one.
Thank you.
How long did it take to film Guns?
15 days. 15 long.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
They didn't give me much time. So
Casper, Sean's great. Sean's great in this.
Oh yeah.
But Casper really, in terms of the dramatic acting, he was so good in this movie, man.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think, well, not starting to think, but I think I've said it before. I think Casper is a very underrated actor.
100%.
You give him the right role, man, and he really could bring out that emotional content in his character. He was so good in this. He's seen war. He's been through some shit. And he's trying to live a good life and find redemption here. And father taking him in. It was played by Sean here. So good. So good.
Yeah. Casper and I really talked about his character and developing that vibe of a guy who's lost everything and is just trying to figure it out again.
Yeah. Beautiful shots.
Yeah, this is all Kentucky. This is central Kentucky, and so it suits the story 100%. I mean, that's where this would have taken place and did take place, and so yeah, and this is a town that was actually built for gunslingers, but then we utilized it for this show as well.
Oh, nice. That's how you do it.
Yeah,
that's how you do it. Was Jeff always considered for the general character?
I'm trying to remember. Not at first. It was Casper, and they had somebody else, and then that guy fell through. And then we went to Jeff, and it was really Jeff Goldberg, who's Casper and Jeff Fahey's agent. We went to Jeff and his Goldberg and said, hey Goldberg, who else is available right now that you have in your arsenal? And he said Fahey was, and I was like, amazing. I've always wanted to work with Jeff. So
yeah, perfect casting too.
Yeah,
he nailed it.
Oh,
everyone did a really good job. Especially, we'll get to this guy right here. This actor.
Samuel.
What's his name?
Samuel. Yeah.
Shout out to Samuel, sir. You did a amazing job being just slimy and this horrible person.
Oh yeah. I kept telling him, I'm like, lick your fingers, and then he's like, are you sure? Are you sure? I was like, yeah, man, lick your fingers, touch your belly button. I was like, that's weird. I was like, yeah, but it's like, it's gross, right? So do it. I mean, and so he did. I mean,
oh man, he nailed it. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
But what is it, Brian, about? It could be a Western, it could be a samurai movie, it could be martial arts action, but what is it about either the two types of storytelling never get old? And it's number one, revenge, that never gets old. And the second one is redemption. It just never gets old. No matter what genre you put those story beats in for those two, I can watch them all the time.
Yeah. It's universal, and it's something that's very, it's an intrinsic to humanity quality. I mean, we all go through those things. We all have people that we would love to have revenge against. And we all have those moments in our lives where we're searching for meaning or redemption of things we've done,
Yeah.
I think it's just like a punch in the face. It translates to every human on this planet.
Yes. And speaking of a punch in the face, This whole scene right here, I won't spoil it. I won't spoil it because I want people to watch the movie. But this whole scene in the church, man, I was like, oh shit, did that actually happen? like shocked.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I knew something bad was gonna happen, but I didn't know that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it, but I was like, wow.
It's a
But
great
you gotta have stuff like that in your movie because you want the audience to want to reach in the movie and strangle the villains. You want that emotion, out of the audience. And how do you do that? They got to do some fucked up shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. For sure.
15 days. That's nuts, man.
Yeah, only 15 days. We were shooting like crazy. I mean, it was not easy.
Yeah, great stuff.
Yeah, that was a real cannon. We one of the extras was like, we were talking about, he overheard us talking about, and he's like, I have a cannon. We were like, you do?
Oh, wow.
So
he just happened to have a real cannon on him. Okay.
Oh, yeah, and he towed it out for us.
That's wild.
Yeah, there's a lot of these guys in Kentucky. That's what they do on the weekend. They go dress up and play.
I love this shot.
Yeah,
this shot right here. That.
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, it was James is actually the stunt coordinator, and I went over to him and I was like, James, I said, how do you feel about launching yourself off, because that's a downhill. I mean, there's a there.
Yeah.
And I was like, what if you launch yourself off? And I was operating the camera. I operated a camera on most of this movie, and I was operating the camera, and I was like, dude, I said, jump off and then shoot right into the lens. And he's like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, we'll do all the safety stuff, because that's a real blank. And so we did all the safety stuff with shooting the gun right at me. And I put the visor on with the glasses and everything. So if I got little pepper, it would be all right.
Yeah.
And we did it. He did it 3 times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. First time he was a little low. He kind of gave me a little nut shot. And then the other 2 actually went in the lens. And so it was great. But he full committal. I mean, just launched himself.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. So. Great job. It was a badass for sure. But yeah, man, movie looked great. Loved the characters. Now, I thought for a second that this was going to be a running gag, where every time Jeff's character gets comfortable and sits down and tries to get a drink or something like that, he's like, something happens. He's like, shit. Yeah. What the fuck is going on now? I thought this was going to keep going, which would have been funny. But he's about to bite into an apple or something, and he's like, oh, God damn it. What now?
Yeah, that'd have been good.
And I liked how the women got in on the action too. They're like, fuck these dudes.
Yeah, Caitlin and Sienna, they were super committed. Yeah.
So. And there he is, Rudy. That's right, Sam.
Oh yeah, one of the sweetest men in the world. I mean, really, just positive energy to everybody. So,
hell yeah. Yeah, man, great work, phenomenal. I recommend everybody watching right now to definitely check out Guns of Redemption. I think you got a double feature going today, audience that's watching right now. Just do it. Start off with Guns of Redemption and then go right in to this little movie right here.
This town, it's called Redemption, right? I hear everyone in this town is wanted. Excuse me? I'm looking for Thomas Keller. Do you know him?
I am looking for a man named Thomas Keller. Wanted for the murder of Jess Rockefeller in New York City. He's wanted dead or alive.
My life ain't worth spit.
I want what's mine.
My town. My rules.
There's no reason for you to die here tonight.
I don't care about the risk.
Give me Thomas, or I'll collect on all your heads.
Praise the Lord!
There's a price on my head. I'ma let it burn.
The only way we get out of here is if we do it together.
How many men? 100 men, maybe more.
What's up?
All right then, let's load up. On 3.
I've been waiting for this moment.
Whoa!
The time is right now.
There's fire in Hail Mary. Hot fire.
putting up a hell of a fight.
What do you want? Not these people.
Throw them on that wagon. We're collecting on all of them. Ow!
Ain't no dreams coming true for me.
Yeah. I'm sorry, man. I'm still busting up over Nicolas Cage's character. He's so wild and over the top, but that's what we like. We like our Nicolas Cage over the top.
Yeah.
Help me. Good God, y'all.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man. I was rolling. But yeah, this is like right up my alley, man. I mean, all the action, all the solid action that was in Guns of Redemption. You were like, fuck it, let's spinal tap this bitch. Let's crank the action all the way up to 11, baby. Yeah. And yeah, man, really, really, really enjoyed it. There we go. Colin's in, says it looks great. He's enjoying what he's seeing here. But yeah, man, this we gotta bring this up again here. Really, really got a kick out of Gunslingers, man. Let's take a look at that again.
All right.
You know, what I really loved about this movie, not just the action, and this is my kind of movie because you got a huge, gigantic body count in this movie, dude. Yeah. I was like, Brian speaks to me. Brian is my brother now.
Yeah.
That's right. Huge body count.
It was funny because we were in a small little tiny town, Cave City, and it was like, how many, you know, we just was like lining up townsfolk. It was like, all right, you die, and then you die. And then, you know, we were running out of to kill people. So we had to like, you know, okay, you put on a different hat and a shirt, and now you die again. I mean, it was, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Has anyone done a kill count for this movie yet?
No.
You got to do it. You got to have somebody do it just for fun. Oh man, but yeah, huge body count. But what that's right up my alley, the action and the violence and all that stuff. But what I really liked about this movie, man, in terms of the story, is this concept of you have all of these, you know, wanted criminals, outlaws, whatever you want to call them, and they're posing as this small town, you know, in their own way, trying to redeem their characters and just live good lives undercover, changing their names and all that stuff. I thought that was cool, man. I don't think I've ever seen that in a Western before.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, no, that was, yeah, I mean, that was an idea that I came up with, and it was developed over time. You know, we started with some other ideas, and it just kind of kept developing, and then it kind of hit on me, you know, so.
Yeah. That's the cool kick-ass concept, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you have shows here and there like Banshee where you have the criminal posing as like the sheriff or stuff like that, but a whole town of wanted outlaws, you know, changing their names and just living good lives undercover, you know, the different identities, you know. It's just, I thought that was so cool, man. Yeah. I thought that was really cool.
Thank you. Yeah. For sure.
But, oh my! Now I have to ask. Cage's voice that he decided to go with for this movie. Did you kind of suggest he talks like that, or he just went with it? He's like, "This is what I'm going with."
It was the morning of shooting. It was the morning of filming. He was the first 2 days of shooting. I mean, we had him for 2 days. It was the first 2 days.
Wow.
You know, day one, I walk in his trailer. He flew in that night. So I go into his trailer that morning and was like, and he's dressed. He's wearing that shirt and everything. Has the glasses. He's like, I love these glasses. And he puts them on and he's like, man, I just feel like this character has a different voice. It's not my voice. It's got to have its own voice. He's got to have his own voice. And so he started pitching me, I think 4 or 5 different voices. And this is the one that made the most sense to me, because I was like, yeah, I mean, that sounds like a guy who's been hung before. So we kind of developed this little backstory about him having been hung, and it was the branch that broke and it saved him, and that's why he's God.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the backstory behind the voice, and he just went with it and didn't break character for 2 days. I mean, it was like the crew was like, he would talk to me normally, but when it wasn't that, he was in character on a chair right outside the door in his voice. People would come up and be like, "Man, I really loved you in Face Off." He's like, "I'm not there right now." Just phenomenal character actor and committed. It
was good. It was good seeing Heather Graham too.
Oh yeah, I love her, sweetheart. She was actually cast 2 days before. We actually had I'm forgetting her name. She's pregnant right now, married to Justin Long. She agreed to do the film and then found out she was pregnant.
Right.
And thought, so there's too much action. I can't do it. And I even had a phone call with her. We talked about character and everything. And then she's like, "I'm pregnant. I can't do any physical stuff," and was concerned because they just found out. So we cast Heather 2 days before we started shooting. I mean, it was like we just threw her into the fire legitimately. It was just like, "Heather, do it," And so again, it was not the way I'd normally want to do a film, but sometimes it's just you got to go with the flow. So.
Yeah, go with the flow. Look at Steven. Steven's he's so good, man.
He is, just absolutely phenomenal. So.
Deacon Frost. Hey, I'm totally down to see you. Maybe for a future project. Let's get some martial arts and some vampires or something.
Cool, huh? Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Man. Now, this opening, the beginning part of the movie, was there supposed to be more to this?
Yeah, actually, that's funny you say that. Yeah, there's like 15 minutes of this whole like flashback and stuff. And
wow. Okay.
So yeah, if there's ever a director's cut, that'll be all in it. But
nice.
I was told the movie was too long, so we went in and started trimming. So
I'm noticing a theme here.
So
trim it, unfortunately.
I mean, there's 25 minutes of footage out of this movie that was, and again, it was a lot of the slower character development, So.
Right. Well, hopefully maybe when it comes out on Blu-ray or something like that, you can have an extended version, or maybe show us like in the deleted scenes or something like that.
Yeah.
That would be cool. That would be cool to see.
For sure. But
now this actor right here, he did a really good job. Was he originally supposed to be this Stephen Dorff's brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Jeremy Jackson. Yeah, I had worked with Jeremy on a Lifetime movie like 8 years ago, and I was like, man, whenever I get something really juicy, I'm going to call you.
Nice.
Called him 8 years later. He's like, Brian. I was like, Jeremy, let's go. It's time.
I got something juicy.
Yeah, and he'd moved to Seattle and is running an acting school, and he was just like, yes, I'm in.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, you got the burnt face, the eye patch. Yeah, he's good to go. He's good to go to play this character.
Oh yeah, he's so good. So,
but now we got Costas in here, the great Costas Mandalore in here.
Yeah,
he's
Costas.
Always good. He's always good.
Yeah, no, I like to collect, actors that I know I can trust, and a lot of them, Randall Battenkoff, Costas Mandalore, Billy McNamara. I mean, all these guys, I know I can pull them in and give them anything, and they'll just kill it. And that's important to have as a director, is to have a troupe of actors that you can trust.
Yeah, he was great as this character, but he easily could have been the main villain too, if he wanted to switch it, because he's really good at playing villains as well.
Oh, yeah.
But this where I was getting like the suspense building, man. That's why we love Westerns when they're told well, is you don't even have to fire a shot, but you're on the edge of your seat because something's about to go down. Like the scene in Unforgiven with Gene Hackman kind of fucking with the I forgot the name of the actor. Forgive me, who was in the the jail cell, and he's fucking with him. He's like, draw, go, and you didn't have to fire. He didn't have to fire a shot, but that tension was there, and that's what I really enjoyed about this movie, man. You had some really good suspense building and tense moments between the characters, and this is so fucking cool because you got a town of outlaws posing as it's almost like bad guys versus bad guys in a way, bad guys that want redemption versus bad guys that are up to no good. But yeah, this is when the things was really starting to get exciting for me when I was watching this. And of course, Cage stealing all of the scenes because he's Nicolas fucking Cage. He's got to steal the scenes.
Yeah, he's great.
I'd be disappointed if he didn't steal the scenes.
Yeah.
I mean, look at him right. Look at him right here. Look at him.
Yeah.
Right here. Yeah. He's feeling the spirit.
Oh yeah.
Feeling the spirit.
So good. So good.
Now, was it pretty difficult to film the action, since there's way more action in this than Guns of Redemption? Was it pretty tricky?
I wouldn't say tricky. No, it was there's way more action, that's for sure. So and we were doing splits, so we were shooting at half day, half night. And so a lot of the action scenes were shot over 4, 5, 6, 7 days. I mean, it was like we would shoot inside the saloon and either darken out the windows or whatever it called for. And then we'd go outside at night and start shooting all of the action stuff. And so,
did you kind of storyboard the action, or you knew exactly what you wanted, really?
Oh man, I wish. No.
You're like, storyboard? You need time to draw.
Yeah, I need time
for that.
Believe me, I wish. The only saving grace I had on this show is I was able to get 5150, which is Mike Gunther's group.
Nice.
And we had Vinny come out as his stunt coordinator, and Vinny O'Brien, and so they're two. They're very experienced. Group. I mean, if you look at 5150, they did Shang-Chi, they did Fast and Furiouses. He's Michael Bay's guy. I mean, right. Mike is Michael's Bay guy. So to get him to come on as a partner on this and really help out was huge, because we didn't have time. We didn't have time to choreograph anything. It was literally, we had 2 weeks. So Vinny showed up a week before we started shooting, and I was like, Vinny, here's the ideas. And he started choreographing some of the stuff. Like there's a great fight scene in the script that never made the movie. And I'm so bummed about it, because it was like, like T-Mob was supposed to hand fight some guys in an alley, and it would have been a lot more action with T-Mob. T-Mob was supposed to hand fight a lot of dudes, and it didn't happen. We had 3 scenes of him hand fighting that got cut, so it was a bummer.
I'm surprised the action got cut this time. Usually it's the story, right?
Yeah.
That guy's great. He's a great actor, but he's great in Rush Hour. He's done so much.
Yeah, unfortunately, we had to cut those because we knew he had to be stunt doubled, and the amount of time to film him and then to film it again with a double and everything, it just wasn't feasible. We only had 18 days to shoot this.
Was he doing? I'm assuming was he doing like martial arts?
Yeah. It was
that would have been fun to see.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to all be like kind of like a drunken monkey martial artist, with some knives. That
would have been fun. But speaking of fun, everybody watching right now, look at the body count already here. And we're not done. No. We're not done yet. So yeah, look at all this. Is great. But this stuff, really good stuff.
Thank you.
With Cage just going off. Look at this. Look at all this. This brutal fisticuffs.
Oh yeah.
Bullets, guns, explosions, fire.
Yeah.
Let's go. That's what it's all about. And it builds to that too.
Yeah. And
look at all this. Now the wagon chase scene, was this difficult?
Yeah, very. That was shot over 3 days as well. I mean, we were bouncing around so much, but that scene, we had to put it on. First, we shot it with the horses, and then we put it on a process trailer to shoot with the actors. So all this is all like process trailer stuff. So
wow.
And we wanted to keep the lighting similar. So we were shooting. So we would go there in the afternoon, get everything set up, and then shoot that kind of magic hour thing. So, it took a lot of work to get this shot out.
Shout out to the stunt team.
Oh yeah.
Let's go. Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Help me.
Yeah, that's the greatest part. Yeah, it's so funny.
Funny. Oh, what? These two Westerns scratched the Western action itch, baby. Oh yeah, I'm pleased. I enjoyed both movies. Congratulations on getting them out. And Gunslingers, you can actually, I know I said earlier, you guys can watch it on demand, Amazon Prime and all that, but it's actually in theater, correct? It was in theater?
Yeah, it is in theaters.
It's still in theater. Okay, cool.
It's in it's in 30 theaters, and then I don't know the Canadian release, but right now in the United States, if you're in a major metropolitan city, it's there somewhere. So.
Yeah, congratulations, man, and congrats to your team and getting it out there. And this is just the beginning for Skiba Vision. That's right. It's going to be running wild. I can't wait to see what you do next, man. Let's go.
Man.
Let's go.
I've got an Aaron Eckhart film called Scorpion.
Sold.
And that one is like straight action. I mean, Mike and I were doing the breakdown the other day, and we're just like, how are we going to do all this, man? Because again, they're giving us very, the funds are this, the time is this, and the action is this. So we're going, okay, what are we going to do? And that's next on the burner. So.
Hell yeah, you're going to do what you've been doing, kicking ass and taking names of what you got. That's all we got. Let's roll with it. Let's do it. Slap the arm bar on it. There you go.
Yeah, man. I want to do more fighting. Hopefully that Fight Ward movie comes to fruition, because
Fight Ward. Let's do it.
That one's epic. It's a cool concept. So.
Hell yeah, I'm all in. Yeah, let's go. But brother, thank you so much for being here, hanging out in the Movie Dojo podcast, man. I could talk to you about movies all day, but this guy's a busy man. Yeah. That's right. He's got more movies to make, more badacity. That's right. Is out there. You can't wait to watch and soak it up. Action, martial arts, horror. Let's go, Brian. Give us more. And don't forget to watch Miami Connection, Brian. It's on the list. Miami Connection. But thanks again for being here. It's your second home now, man. Second home. You're always welcome to come on back. But Brian, don't go anywhere. But all you guys watching right now, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Old Samurai Guy. Check out the Movie Dojo podcast right here on YouTube and on Spotify, and click on the link below so you can follow Brian on his filmmaking journey. That's right. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Don't forget, Gunslingers, check it out. Help me. Good God.
Good God.